What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Louisiana Outdoorsman. Once again, we are back in the kitchen with another cooking video because I can't catch any fish lately. I have been on at least 2 or 3 fishing trips, not major fishing trips, but fishing trips nonetheless, and I have caught nothing, which is why you guys haven't seen videos in a while. So I figured I'd make a cooking video since I don't want to leave you guys 3 weeks without posting anything. So you guys see me cook the smothered pork chops, I think the sauce piquant, tacos, fried fish, all kind of stuff. We're gonna do something similar to the pork chops, and we're gonna do smothered fresh sausage today. As you can see, I got the fresh sausage here. I'm gonna season these up real quick. I got the pot heated up. I got the seasonings all right here. So like I said, I'm gonna take you guys step by step as I did with all the other cooking videos, and I'll bring you guys along for the whole process, so stay tuned. Alright, so first gotta get the pan or the pot nice and hot, so I'm gonna use some olive oil. Gonna put it in there, that way whenever we brown our meat it doesn't stick all to the bottom of the pot here. I don't have much olive oil left in here, so as you can see, I'm not putting very much olive oil. Like I said, I'm just emptying what's in there, but it's just enough to coat the bottom of the pot. That way your sausage don't stick to the pot. But I'm about to let that heat up, and while I let that heat up, I'm gonna season the sausage here. So, all right, first season I'm gonna use is the Trinity Seasoning that every Cajun dish is gonna have, is some Tony Stasher. So I'm just gonna give it a light little sprinkle. And the only reason you do this and you sprinkle it kind of heavy is because once you brown this sausage, a lot of the seasoning is going to stick to the bottom of the pot, which, like I said, gives you your flavor later on in the dish. So I'm going to lather that on pretty good. Next, I got some garlic powder. I'm going to sprinkle that on there. Next, got some good old-fashioned cayenne pepper. I'm gonna go ahead and lightly sprinkle that because it does pack a little punch if you put too much on there. And then lastly, just a tad bit of salt. You don't want to put too much because the Tony's already has a good bit of salt in it. So. And then what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna flip the sausage over. I'm gonna season the other side exactly how I did it, and now I'm gonna put it in the pot to brown. All right, guys, sausage is now all seasoned. The pot is super hot. So what you want, like I said, what you want is whenever you put the sausage in, you want it to make a decent sizzling sound. That way, you're, like I said, you're browning this meat. You're not cooking it all the way yet. So you definitely want to hear that noise right there. Last 2 in here. Put that over a tiny bit. Make some room. And then we're gonna let that brown on each side for about maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then we'll take it off, and then we'll get back to you guys once that next step is coming up. All right, guys. So the sausage is now all brown. As you can tell, it's got that nice char crispiness on the end. As you can tell, it's leaving some good bits on the bottom of that pot. So what I'm gonna take the sausage out, and then we're going to saute our vegetable mix. Ooh, that is hot. I'm gonna put that down. We're gonna saute our vegetable mix in the pot. Now I'll put that in before I put those sausages to the side, before all that stuff actually starts to burn on the bottom of the pot, because you do not want that. So like I said, get your mix. You could cut it yourself. All it is some onions, celery, bell peppers. So I'm gonna throw that in. Gonna saute that down. And what it does is the water inside those vegetables breaks down all those good bits on the edge of the pot, on the bottom of the pot. And that's what I'm gonna scrape off and gonna use as flavor for the dish. So like I said, I'm gonna cook these down. I'm gonna get back to you guys on the next step. All right, so as you can see, the onions and all the vegetables are now cooked down. You can see they're turning a nice golden brown color. That is because it soaked up all of that flavor and all of the stuff. Because if you can see right now, as the bottom of the pot was brown before I put it in, the bottom of the pot is now clean as it was whenever it came there, when I first started. So all that flavor and all them little bits on the bottom of the pot has now soaked up into the onions and the bell peppers and the celery, and it is cooked down. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna bring my sausage back out. I'm gonna add my sausage back to here, and I'm going to add some chicken broth and water, which is what it's gonna cook down in. So like I said, come here, you just put your sausage back anywhere. It doesn't have to go in a certain order. And the sausage didn't make a lot of juice, but you want to make sure that whatever juice is left in your plate from the sausage sitting there goes back in the dish. Same thing with any meat. That's all pure flavor that has dripped out of the sausage. So like I said, you can use all water if you want, but I tend to use, for any pork or chicken or anything like that I'm cooking, I use chicken broth. It has more flavor. If you cook with beef, obviously you use beef broth. Like I said, then we're going to use, I only have like a half of this one left, and I have a whole one here next to me. And you want it to where it almost like covers the meat, because like I said, we're gonna be cooking this down for about another hour and a half to 2 hours. But I will add water to cover the rest. I'll let you guys see how full the pot is once I fill this thing up with water here shortly. All right, I'm probably add a tiny bit more water. I'll show you guys real quick. So I didn't get that much water. There's not much more water, but I will add that little bit, like I said, to where the meat's pretty much covered, to where you can't really see any parts that's sticking out. And then we're gonna start cooking it down. It's a really light gravy right now, but once it cooks down, it's gonna get darker and turn to a darker color. So at this point, besides adding more seasoning, which I'm gonna taste it as it goes, I'm gonna let it cook down for a little bit to make sure I don't over season it. But like I said, for right now, I'll probably let it cook for another 30 to 45 minutes before I even come touch this again to taste it, to see what seasoning it adds, what seasoning it needs. And the only thing I'm gonna add, if needed, is Tony's and salt. That's it. I'm not gonna add any other of the seasonings that we used earlier. That was strictly for the meat. So like I said, I'm gonna leave this sit, crank it up to a medium-high heat to where it brings to a boil. And like I said, this type of cooking is sit back and let it roll from here. So I'll get back to you guys once I'm coming to taste it and add seasoning. Alright guys, it has been probably about 45 minutes, a little bit longer than that said. But as you can tell, it's gotten a nice darker color now. Still very thin as a gravy, but we still got probably about another hour to cook down. So like I said, we still gotta make sure that one, the sausage is cooked, and two, that this gravy gets thicker. I also forgot to mention earlier, I did add some minced garlic. You can either cut your own, or you can buy it from the store. They got just the regular minced garlic. You can either get it in the water or the oil. I suggest that if you're cooking with it, you get the one that's in the water. But I did add about a tablespoon of that earlier. So that is cooking down with it. I just tasted it. It does need some more seasoning. So I'm going to add a good bit more of Tony's in there. And I'm going to add a little bit of salt as well. Like I said, I don't want to over salt it because the Tony's actually does have salt. So just give that a once over with salt. Stir it around. I'm going to let it cook into the meal a little bit before I taste it again, because I don't want to taste it right away. I want to give it a chance, all the salt and everything to dissolve while it's cooking. So like I said, added that, probably let it sit another 15-20 minutes, taste it, and we'll go from there. Finally, it is done. It's been cooking since the last time I got with you guys for another hour or so. As you can tell now, it is much thicker. I actually broke the pieces of sausage. Once the sausage is cooked, or just about, you can break it. You want to break up the sausage. You don't want to eat a whole link of sausage on your plate. But as you can tell, The gravy is much thicker now. As you can tell, it slowly kind of drips off the spoon instead of being a waterfall like it was earlier. As you can tell, it's not much of the spoon that's left of the gravy, so that's what you want. Like I said, the sausage is all cut up into pieces, ready to be eaten. So with that being said, the rice is done. We got green beans on the side, we got sweet peas on the side. Those are all done. I'm about to enjoy this nice smothered sausage and rice and gravy. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down below if anything else you guys want me to cook, or if you guys are even enjoying these cooking videos. I'm gonna try my best to get out and fish here shortly. It looks like they got a good bit of rain coming up ahead the next few days, so I might not be able to get out, but I will do my best to get on some catfish or something at all for you guys. So like I said, make sure you hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and stay tuned for another episode of Louisiana Outdoorsman.